Good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, y'all. It is Monday, May the 16th, 2022, and it's time for News in Motion. I am your host, Gail Dudley, and we have a lot of news to share with you this morning, along with some other directions that we're going to take this day as well. So do me a favor as you're coming in here, if you would share this video and invite people to come and tune in to see what it is that we're talking about. Good morning, Regina Shores. Good morning to you. We would greatly appreciate it. Y'all, we are here together to do a work, and together that work will be done. I see you, Jeffrey Allen James. Jeffrey Allen James, y'all sent me a message or a comment and said, we're not getting any news till Thursday. Jeffrey, that's how the announcements rolled out. And I noticed what you noticed, that it came out to appear as if Thursday was the only day. So hopefully we corrected that. But it was the way it rolled out. I have no idea what happened. But y'all, Jeffrey Allen James was not happy about that. He said, well, hold up, wait a minute. I'm not getting any news in motion until Thursday. Well, no, you're getting it today. I see you, Rosanna Bivens. I see you, Deborah Sneed. I see you. Hey, Deborah, your inbox message kept bouncing back to me. So maybe send me one and I'll send you one so you can see the image. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning to you. Good morning. So come on in the room, people. Come on in the room. Again, do us a favor, share this video. Also, if you are tuning in, hit the icon, the like button, not the icons that you throw up during the broadcast, but hit the icon beforehand. That will help our algorithm make a shift as well. I see you, Diane Ladybug. I see you. I see you this morning as well. If you're tuning in by audio, good morning to you. Good morning. Maybe you're listening to the replay. So whatever time of the day it is, I just want to give you a shout out, a quick shout out. I see you, Lori and Shirley. Shirley, we hope you are doing better. Shirley did test positive with COVID. So we want to pray for her. Good morning, Doris Miller. Good morning. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning. Good morning to everyone that's tuning in live. Again, if you don't mind, share this video and invite others to come and join us. That will be great. That will be great. We would love having you here. All right, y'all, we have a lot to discuss, so let's get this news started. All right, y'all, good morning once again. And I want to start this segment this way. Aaron Salter, age 55. Ruth Whitfield, age 86. Pearlie Young, age 77. Catherine Massey, age 72. Deacon Hayward Patterson, age 67. Celestine Channing, age 65. Roberta A. Drury, age 32. Marcus D. Morrison, age 52. Andre McNeil, age 53. Geraldine Talley, age 62. Those are the 10 beautiful, brilliant, amazing, talented, gifted Black people who were murdered by a racist hate crime murderer, age 18, whom I will call a white supremacist. We also had injured Zaire Goodman, age 20, Jennifer Warrington, age 50, and Christopher Braden, age 55. The three of those are still, there are survivors at this moment. But again, they were shot by a white supremacist, age 18. So we all by now have heard of the Buffalo shooting, which has been officially labeled as a racist hate crime. 13 people shot, 10 fatal at a Buffalo, New York supermarket on Saturday. Let's just call it what it is, a massacre. 10 people, again, including the retired Buffalo police officer who is uh, Aaron Salter, um, were killed. They were killed on Saturday afternoon at a Tops Market on Jefferson Avenue. CNN is reporting an alleged gunman made disturbing statements describing his motive and state of mind following his arrest, the official said. The statements were clear and filled with hate towards the Black community. Investigators also uncovered other information from search warrants and other methods indicating an alleged shooter was studying previous hate attacks and shootings, the official said. I had an opportunity to read the manifesto. Y'all, the manifesto was 190 pages. To read that, I pretty much cried off and on all weekend to where my eyes started hurting last evening, just reading through everything that was happening. The state of mind of that person, and don't give me that stuff this morning, y'all. And I've gone back and forth with some people on Twitter. No, you and there was a commentator, there was a guest on a news show who broke it down. And I don't have that clip, but he went on to say, he was a Black man talking to a white reporter, a white host of a news show, and the white host brought up mental illness. Now, I can't say I'm not in that profession, but I will say this. You had the state of mind to put together a 190-page manifesto. You had the state of mind to get in your car and drive 3 hours. You had the state of mind to get tactical gear and wear along with the helmet. You had the state of mind to study a Black zip code area to go to and the grocery store and the time of day. You had the state of mind to do all of that. So I don't want to hear the rest of the stuff, but what I want to say to my brothers and sisters and to our allies, we cannot sit back. I was having a conversation yesterday with Damia Kandai, and Damia and I were going back and forth on text message, just really shocked. It's like, what's happening? We don't see the outrage that we normally see on social media. And I replied back to her, I said, I think it has something to do with the fact that we are just used to what we are hearing. We're used to it. We become accustomed to it. But I'm here today with the call to action that this is not the time to get used to it. It's not. I know we have a lot that's coming at us, a lot that's being said, a lot that's being done. We have voter rights. That is still on the forefront, y'all. We cannot give that up because that connects to everything else that's happening. We have these gun laws and gun regulations. We have other legislation that is out there. We have disparities. We have people who are being marginalized. We have people who are being oppressed. We have people who are being lied to. We have Black and brown people who are getting gunned down unarmed every day. We'll get to the lacrosse team in a few moments. But y'all, time out with this. Time out. Help me, Holy Spirit, because trust me, I feel like using some cuss words, but I haven't done it yet on here. And I don't want to do it now, almost 2 years later. So I'm trying to hold my tongue, but also be very direct and let you know that, y'all, this is not the time for us to be still or be quiet. A lot that is coming on. John Gore says, yes, becoming a norm. It's becoming a norm for us. Ron Robinson says there's another mass shooting yesterday. Yes, a church in Orange County, which we'll talk about, and that was targeted to Asian and to Taiwanese individual descent people. Now, that was a 68-year-old Asian man who did that, but we cannot disconnect what's really happening. Y'all, something is happening, and I'll get to that in a moment. Y'all, something is happening, and we have to pay attention. I don't know how else to stress this. So 11 of the people who were shot were Black, officials said. 2 were white. Some of the news reporting that I've been reading that's coming out that said that the white individuals who were shot were either talking to or close to those who were Black that were murdered. The suspect, I don't want to give his name, but I want y'all to know who I'm talking about. The suspect is identified as Peyton S. Glendron. He had a rifle. He came from Cortland, New York, who allegedly wrote a white supremacist manifesto online. I do have to say allegedly. He traveled about 200 miles to the store, and he also live streamed the attack on Twitch. He live streamed. Twitch, they got word of it. They took it down. They said little under 2 minutes. They stopped it from going from the live. They stopped the live feed about going into 2 minutes of it. Now, a Buffalo police commissioner says Sunday the attack was racist. We also know that it says it will be prosecuted as such. Yeah, all the evidence that has been uncovered makes no mistake that this was an absolute racist hate crime that took place in Buffalo. So, couple things I want to share. Number one, tactical gear. Number two, heavily armed. Helmet, live stream, 190-page white supremacist manifesto. Assault weapon was used. If y'all remember last week, on May the 11th, I talked about the gun violence. And Isaiah, I believe the image is up there. I want y'all to see this image again. And this is after the CDC tweeted the firearm homicide rate in 2020 was the highest reported in over 25 years. And the firearm suicide rate stayed high. I just want y'all to see that rate, see that. Thank you, Isaiah. I want to express to everyone this morning that the Buffalo attack is now been labeled the deadliest U.S. mass shooting of the year. We're not even halfway through 2022. There have been at least 198 mass shootings so far in 2022. I'll give you that number again. 100, at least. Now, this is at least 198 mass shootings so far in 2022 per the Gun Violence Archive. They say it, as well as the report from CNN, defines a mass shooting as 4 or more people shot, not including the shooter. So we have all of this information and we're asking ourselves, what's happening? What can we do? I don't care what y'all say. I'm here to tell you, if you connect the dots, it all connects to the representatives. The representatives didn't make anybody go shoot anybody. I'm not saying that yet. So hold on for a moment there, because I got another topic to talk about. But we're so busy sending $33 billion to Ukraine, which I have no problem with that. But we are ignoring what's needed right here, because y'all, this was and is labeled to me a terrorist attack. It's a hate crime. It's terrorism. It's a terrorist attack. That's what's happening. So where's the legislation to protect the people? And if I can say so, the Black and brown people. Because, as someone already posted here, we have in Orange County, 1 person was killed and 5 others were critically wounded Sunday during a shooting inside Geneva Presbyterian Church. Victims are described as mostly Asian and Taiwanese descent. The suspect was a 68-year-old Asian man who was originally from Las Vegas. Guns are out here. We can easily assess them now without any problem whatsoever at all. But we cannot disconnect. So I'm coming back to grab what I just stated. We cannot disconnect the rhetoric that is happening. Tucker Carlson, he's guilty on Fox News. Representative Elise Stefanik, guilty. So, you've heard of the great resignation, I'm sure. And I've been following this story, but of course, it came out loud and clear over the weekend. Now we have GOP representatives, along with Carlson of Fox News, are talking about the great replacement, which is called the replacement. They have coined the replacement theory. I kind of touched on a little bit last week when I was talking about how the demographics are changing when I was talking about the Supreme Court, Roe v. Wade, and where they talked about the domestic supply of infants. That word, that phrase right there just drives me crazy. But we have all of this that's going on. So we have Elise Marie Stefanik, a Republican serving the U.S. representatives for New York's 21st congressional district since 2015. She is the third ranking House Republican and serves as the chair of the House Republican Conference. Now, Newsweek is reporting that this representative, is facing backlash over the Facebook ads that critics said invoked this racist great replacement conspiracy theory following the deadly mass shooting in Buffalo. Well, all of the ads at this moment has been taken down, have been removed. We try to get in and get a clip, but after it's out there, people take these things down. But the document was circulated widely online, repeatedly citing this great replacement theory, talking about Black and brown people are replacing white people in these high numbers. And this theory is being pushed by white supremacists and claim that white Americans are being replaced by people of color. So we have all of this stuff that's going on. Y'all, I know we're tired. I'm tired too. But y'all, we have to be strategic and put together a strategy of what we're going to do. You know, my family has always called me radical. My friends have called me radical. And it's about time that we do something. So here's a few things I want to cover as we continue this news. I see some of these comments on here. Lori says that phrase is wrong on so many levels. Yep. When lawmakers make it easier to get guns, they're not protecting the Black and brown communities. Thank you, Marion, for that. Kenny Stanley says $30 billion to Ukraine. I don't have a problem with helping those in needs. How about putting dollars in our communities and clean up the U.S. instead of cleaning up other countries? There's so much that's happening. Cherie just said, yes, Gail Dudley, you are hitting the nail on the head. Let me tell y'all, I was wrestling this morning. And I said, by now we're overwhelmed with this news. We're tired of this news, but I knew I had a responsibility to share and to come through, not with just my opinions, but with facts and also with things that we can do. So a call to action, y'all, some things that we can do. Number one, I want to talk about safety, because in some of the press releases, they're talking about people to be on guard, because I guess there's some groups or some other people, and I don't have everything, so I don't really want to report on that specifically, but I do want to say, be mindful, be careful. So when you go into the grocery store or the movie theater or the restaurant or wherever, and we talked about this previously, just to have a plan. Look around. I know when things happen, you're not even in that right mind to think. And I go back to the people, the 8-year-old girl and her father and others who hid in the freezer, in the milk freezer, I believe it was. And at one point, the dad put his hand over her mouth because she was crying. And I guess the guy did shoot towards the freezer, but I guess the bullets didn't penetrate. And all I kept seeing, y'all, in a vision was there was just a covering. There was just a protective shield of those people who ran to that spot and went into the freezer. So have a plan, y'all. It's sad that we're here today, that we have to think about a plan when we're going places. Y'all know I go to the grocery store with my father. And he's 86 and he's not really quick on his feet. So I've been thinking, what does that look like? I don't want to stop our weekly grocery store shopping, but I'm like, maybe I need to just have Instacart deliver you some stuff. I mean, we will figure out something else to do to get out the house for you for once a week. Just something that we can do that will help people, but have that plan. My husband and I were just discussing this yesterday. He was like, think about what you're doing before you get out the car, before you even leave the house. Know where you're going, know where you're headed. Just some things. He's a former police officer, so he was just trying to help me out. But we have to have a plan. What does that look like? And for those of you who are like, what? Dr. Dudley was a police officer. He was in College Park. He was before going into the ministry. So, and his brother he's a retired police officer in Florida, but he does some Secret Service stuff and some SWAT stuff and some other things. So that conversation where I'm around that in this family. And it's so important to have a plan, y'all, not to make you afraid or to be scared, but people have a plan. What is it that you're going to do? John Gore said safety legislation to allow anybody not certified to carry a firearm. Stupid as hell. It is going to be in Ohio. It's already in Ohio. It just happened a couple of weeks ago. So yes, John, you're absolutely correct. Patricia Lau says, it hurts my heart to know school is about to be out for the summer. We have to make the children be aware of their surroundings and stay close to homes. Yeah, it's very interesting. So y'all, one thing is to have a plan, to be alert, have a plan. The second thing is we need to have a collective effort and reaching our representatives throughout the U.S. with the same message. Y'all hear me talk about this a lot, but messaging is important. Messaging is important. We have to write up and send out the same message. The same message. Where's the 33 billion to help us here in America, to help us secure, have safety in place, have some rules, policies, and legislation in place. Our LinkedIn user is saying, have a plan. Excellent point. Yeah, have a plan. We have to have a plan. That's number two. Number three that I want to share with you, not only reaching out to our representatives, y'all, it is important that we start attending town hall meetings and raising these questions. I know it's not everybody's mantle, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but hear me. One person cannot do it. 20 people cannot do it. 1,000 people cannot do it. There has to be a collective effort putting this together. But y'all, we cannot get so tired that the outrage is gone and that is over. We can't be that person. We can't be that place. On May the 4th, I reported on Brittany Griner saying that the U.S. government reclassified WNBA player Brittany Griner's detention in Russia as wrongfully detained. And that would have been on May the 11th. That would have been on May 10th. Nearly 3 months after the star was released on alleged drug charges, Griner is being held in Russia until at least May 19th. Well, we learned on Saturday, CNN is reporting, along with now others, that the arrest of the U.S. Olympic basketball champion Brittany Griner on charges of drug smuggling has been extended until June the 18th by the courts of the Moscow region. Now, y'all, I want y'all to understand this is a pre-trial detention. So she's not even to the trial portion of this. This is pre-trial. Now, I want to remind y'all of something that I reported here on News in Motion as well. I reported a week or two ago that the U.S. and Russia were in negotiations, and the U.S. released a Russian pilot for a U.S. Marine, which thank God that we got our U.S. Marine back. But where's the negotiations for Brittany Griner? Where are those negotiations? And where's the outrage for that? But I can't even stop there, y'all. I had not reported this because the report was still unfolding. But y'all know about the Black lacrosse team by now. And newly released body camera footage of Georgia deputies stopping a majority Black lacrosse female team bus shows the officers rifling through the players' personal items after the sheriff asserted, demanded, argued that the deputies did no such thing. Y'all lied. So it all happened on April the 20th. A Liberty County Sheriff William Bowman said in a statement Tuesday that deputies weren't racially profiling the women's lacrosse team for Delaware State University, a historical Black university. When they stopped the team's bus on April 20th, he said that no personal items on the bus or any person was searched. How appalling to even think that we would do that. You lied. The body camera footage now tells another story. The team was headed back to Delaware after playing 3 games in Florida. When the deputies pulled over their bus, they first spoke with the Black bus driver. His name was Tim, and cited a traffic violation. Yeah, they wasn't satisfied. It took me back, y'all, to what my grandparents used to tell me, how they would come on the buses. We seen all this when some of the documentaries of the buses going to Selma, Alabama, and how they tortured them, tormented, and everything else, harassed them. Then the deputies entered the bus, told the team members they weren't allowed to have marijuana or drug paraphernalia. What? You just gonna come on the bus and assume that we have these things? One officer is overheard saying, "I'm not looking for a little bit of marijuana, but I'm pretty sure you guys, chaperones, are probably going to be disappointed in you if we find any." That's the conversation. That is what's happening, y'all. This is happening right now before our eyes. Where is the outrage? Y'all, protest. We can't just be done and over after the massive George Floyd protests. Yes, and he was murdered. And yes, thank God that police officer is sitting in jail along with the other ones. Yes, thank God to that. But y'all, it ain't over. It's not over. We still have work to do. Y'all, racially profiled. Let me tell y'all something that happened. Yeah, many of y'all know that I gave up a car, was without one for 5-6 months, have another one. The car's not important. But the 30-day tag in the back had expired. It expired on May the 8th. But y'all, on May the 6th, while I was driving down the highway, a white police officer looked over at me, and I looked over at them, and he was going on ahead. Well, he slowed back. And I'm like, what's happening here? So I get pulled over, and he says, your tag expires. And I said, not till Sunday, May the 8th. And he responded, well, they're not open. They're only open till noon on Saturday. Yep, I'm aware of that. But I don't have the registration to get that yet. And it's in the work, and it should be overnight to me today. I'm already on top of this, which I probably gave him too much information because I didn't owe him anything because it was not expired. You cannot tell me, and I played this in my head several times. You cannot tell me that he's decided, I'm gonna mess with, she Black, she's in that vehicle, I'm pulling her over. And I was just like, yeah, like what? And, he said, okay, this is your warning. I'm going to list this out as a warning. Okay, whatever, do whatever you want to do. But I think about these things, y'all. There's an attack. And I don't know why he didn't push it. Will probably be because I happened to be going the speed limit when I haven't been doing that lately, but I happened to be going the speed limit. And at the same time, I was like, there was nothing. There's nothing. Now, here's the other thing. I want to share this with y'all. Here's the other thing. In sharing this with my husband after I got home, and I, of course, called him and said, we got to find that thing because he wrote this down. But what's interesting is the way the car is made and the way the paper is in the window. You can't see it. You can't see it. And I'm like, he didn't pull that. Not until he got behind me, looked on his way up to the window, did he see that. So the question is, what else was he going to try with me on that day? What else would he have tried on that Friday, May the 6th? Y'all, a lot to unpack. And with all of this, we have a lack of baby formula. Baby formula. So I'm going to share this, and I do want to give Kenny a few minutes to come, and then I have an inspirational message. But y'all, we have a lot to be thinking about. So baby formula, we know that there's a lack of baby formula. There was some information going around saying that if you're on Amazon, you can click the Canada link. Canada was shipped to you. I guess Canada said we can't help all of y'all out, so they've stopped that, stopped being able to ship to you. So here's my plea to everyone who's listening. If you happen to go into a grocery store and you see some baby formula, they're now just like they were limiting toilet tissue. Get a few if you know any children or any babies, and let people know. Just post it on social media that you have some. They can buy it from whatever. You could bless them with it, however you want to do it. I'm doing that for some people with Costco. I said, hey, I know there's some at Costco. I'm using my Costco membership. I've already checked it out. I already got it up at the front desk. I'm gonna go in there, pick it up for them, meet them in the parking lot or whatever, and give it to them. We have to work together with things that are going on. We cannot work opposite. It's not like toilet tissue. It's not like we all need it. It's baby formula, and these babies need to be nourished. And let me say this about that before I bring Kenny on. Kenny, don't go anywhere. You're coming up next. Let me say this about that before Kenny come on. Y'all be careful. Be so careful about posting women just breastfeed your baby. Y'all, we got to be careful with that. There are medical reasons why some women cannot breastfeed. There are some babies who have been adopted, so their adopted mothers have nothing, no milk in their breast to give. Y'all, there could be numerous reasons. There could be trauma. There can be all types of things that are going on. So y'all be careful just giving somebody a solution that maybe works for you, but may not work for the other person, especially when it comes to health and mental illness and trauma and triggers and whatever else that could be going on. So let's be a solution by, if we have a couple, I guess it's no longer a couple dollars, whatever we have, if we can pick up a can or whatever to do and say, hey, I have some available, hit me up, DM me, I'll get it to you. That's how we help. That's community. That is community. All right, Kenny, come on in here. We're not going to do the intro, but just come on in here and tell us what you got. And then y'all, I'll be back with the inspirational message.
Hey, good morning, News in Motion family. How y'all doing? That was a lot. So I'm gonna be real quick with what I got. Uh, Welcome to Game Over with me, Kenny Stanley. Well, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference finals have been are are set to be tipped off on Tuesday. Yeah, tipped off on tomorrow night. Was gonna start out with Miami and Boston. Miami punched their ticket last Thursday, beating my Philadelphia 76ers 99-90. Boston punched the ticket yesterday, beating the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks 109-81. Uh, I'm gonna have to put my hat in Boston's ring. It's hard for me to say that because I'm a Sixers fan, but I'm gonna have to put my hat in Boston's ring. It looked like they got a team that might be able to do this thing. Uh, every game, it seems like it's somebody else that steps up since the playoffs started. And yesterday was no different as Grant Williams came in and hit 7 3-pointers on his way to 27 points in the victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. The Dallas Mavericks punched their ticket by beating the brakes off of the daggone Phoenix Suns 123-90. Luka Doncic led Dallas with 35 points. Uh, I think we've seen the last of Chris Paul. He's hitting at retiring. Uh, uh, I'm sorry for sounding like this, but that was a lot of news. This weekend was crazy. Um, and it looks like that's going to be it for Chris Paul. It looks like he's ready to retire. Um, so who y'all rolling with in the finals? Like I said, I'm going to have to put my hat in the Boston's ring. In the NHL, the Calgary Flames will be advancing to the second round as they beat the Dallas Stars in overtime 3-2. And the New York Rangers going to advance also as they won in overtime also 4-3. In Major League Baseball, my Cincinnati Reds, my goodness, how many ways are they going to show me that they're going to lose this year? I don't think they're going to win 30 games this season. Out of 100 and something games, I don't think they're going to win 30. They lost yesterday 1-0. Not worried about I'm not worried about the loss. I'm worried about how they lost. The Cincinnati Reds, basically two pitchers, pitched a no-hitter, but you still lost 1-0. How you do that? Well, the Pittsburgh Pirates scored a run when Cincinnati gave up 3 walks and then infield ground out, and that's how the Pittsburgh Pirates scored their run. 1-0. Pittsburgh wins. For you boxing fans out there, one of the Wonder Twins, Jamel Charlo, knocked out Brian Castillo in the 10th round and is now the undisputed middleweight champ. He now has all the belts in that division, and it looks like he's going to have them for a while. I don't think nobody wants anything to do with the Charlo brothers. Now, Gail just touched on it just a little bit, and I'm going to touch on it a little bit too. I'm tired of how people play with people's lives. Brittany Griner has been locked up since February. It makes no sense to me. They stopped her in the airport, checked her bags, and allegedly found vape cartridges that allegedly had cannabis oil in it. They locked her up. Now they're talking about, they just extended her time again. She won't go to court now until June. So that's another 30 days that she's going to be sitting in a Russian jail. Doesn't make any sense to me. And then it turns out that it's a political thing. Russia wants the U.S. to release a guy that we have here in jail who was financing terrorism. They want him back. And if they get him back, they will get Brittany Griner. They will give Brittany Griner back to us. There's one thing here that I got to say. And I said this to Gail when she posted the other day about Brittany Griner. I said this to Gail. WNBA is going to have to come off some money. There's no reason why women in the WNBA have to hire themselves out overseas to supplement their income because they're not making enough in the WNBA. It's not fair. The WNBA players need to get paid so they don't have to do this. Brittany Griner was in Russia playing for a Russian professional team, supplementing her income. She was coming home to train to get ready for the WNBA season, and they stopped her in the airport. It's also funny how this came about just as Russia was planning to invade Ukraine. This is just crazy. It's a political situation. Let Brittany Griner out. Do whatever you have to do, United States, to get Brittany Griner out. This is crazy. She shouldn't be locked up. That's sports for the day. Game over. We're going back to Gail. Everybody have a good day.
Kenny, thank you so much. And y'all, just want to touch on something he said when he said, he said, forgive me for talking this way. That's what happens, y'all. When we get all of this different news, and he was sitting there listening, I saw him in the green room. It's hard to just take in all of this. So even with those of you who are tuning in, and some, there are people, and I shared this with you, I believe last week, that said they just don't watch the news anymore. They're over it. They don't want to hear it. I think that's so dangerous. It's a way, you have to find a way to balance the news and make sure you're tuning in to someone or reading someone's articles that you trust, So thank you, Kenny, so much. It's been a heavy morning. Thank you for that.
All right, everybody have a good one.
You too. All right, y'all. Rosanna Bivens was going back to the baby formula. She says she's helping her son raise her 9-month-old grandbaby because his wife passed away in September. So breastfeeding isn't an option. And then she goes on to say, please pray for the situations for families who are dealing with this shortage. So let's be mindful of that. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. So let me get to the inspirational message. So let's try to leave today on a high note. And I want to call this, I speak peace along with good trouble. I speak peace along with good trouble. And that's the good trouble of the late John Lewis. John chapter 14, verse 27. Speaking of John chapter 14, verse 27 says, I leave with you my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. With everything that's going on, y'all, we cannot allow our hearts to be troubled, neither allow our hearts to be afraid. We can look at this and we can say, oh, what do I do? Well, we have to strategize and we have to put together a plan. We also have to continue to celebrate people and things that are doing outstanding and they're doing well. For example, I need to give a shout out right here to our very own student ambassador, Lexi Williams, who is celebrating her 15th birthday as of yesterday. So we want to give Lexi a shout out and a happy birthday shout out to her and for all the work she's doing with students in high school with News in Motion. So Lexi, happy birthday to you. And I know with all the news that was going on this weekend, you were probably struggling. How do I celebrate? Well, you celebrate. You celebrate because God has given you another year to celebrate. Y'all, good trouble. When we talk about good trouble, also Camille Hopkins' birthday was a couple of Mondays ago, so I wanted to come back with her. You know, she works as the virtual manager here. And I'm going to give this shout out now instead of waiting until May 18th to my very own daughter, whose birthday is May 18th. So, y'all, we got to focus on those celebrations. And then we also have to get into the good trouble of how do we strategize? How do we come together? Y'all, we cannot be an island in this season. We cannot. So last week I said find one person to register to vote. This week I'm asking you to find 3 people who are not currently registered voters and get them registered to vote. Also, another call to action is to call your representatives and ask them about gun legislation and gun laws and the importance of that. Another call to action for those of you who do not want to do that, start strategizing on what we can do to protest how Black and brown people are being gunned down in these racist hate crimes, these massacres. We can come together and strategize around that. There's so much that can be done. Y'all, I want you to now please help me bring people on here come Wednesday. I've been talking about her for over a year. Wednesday, Samara will be joining me. She's going to be talking about messaging. Y'all, she helps some of the most major celebrities with their film roles and their speech. She's a speech coach, so to speak, but she helps you get your messaging together and getting it out there. So she will be joining me on Wednesday for Wednesday workshop. I'm going to be interviewing her. I'm going to give her the screen. She's going to be teaching us some things. We finally made it to put her on here on May the 18th because she'll be in the Eastern time zone that day. We were trying to figure out how we can do it with her being in LA, and she was willing to do it. She says, girl, I'm gonna be half asleep. But then we came to our date. She goes, wait a minute, I'm in the Eastern time zone this week. So she's joining me on Wednesday. You don't want to miss that. And she is a political advocate. She speaks her mind. I've already told her no F-bombs. But she's gonna bring us some great content, y'all, where people pay sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars to get what she's going to share with our community on Wednesday. So set your calendars to join me on Wednesday, but I'll be here tomorrow as well. Y'all, that was a lot. I understand. Y'all stay aware, stay safe. Oh, talking about safe real quick before I go. With everything, with the numbers going up, it's up to you how you do it. I still wear masks, wore masks in church yesterday. I still wear masks. Now, Dr. Fauci is backtracking some things that he shared when it came to COVID, but he also said in a statement, I'll bring more of this on tomorrow. He said that the Black community is not safe when it comes to COVID-19. I got the links and the backup to share it, and I'll share it more tomorrow. But he was talking about in-home or smaller events inside that masks are still important, and social distancing to some degree are still important. He said outside events and so forth, there's a different rule to that. But what comes along with that rule, he was saying that vaccine cards should be received. Tests, COVID tests before going into those type of venues should happen. Social distancing should still happen. So there's a lot of unknowns. So y'all do your own research. Do your own research. When you're going out, but you have to make sure it's safe for you and your family. Again, no fear, but do your research on this. Things continuously unfold. I think this thing will be with us for life, so we're going to have to start learning how to navigate and living through this. All right, y'all, that's all I have. I'm your host, Gail Dudley. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow, 7:25 a.m. I'm out.